Hello, welcome to the video. In this video I'm going to be showing you some books that inspire me. I reference for my work. These books range from instructional books to art books from one specific artist to just a topic in general, like typography, hand-rendered typography, that kind of stuff. So sit back and relax watching me open some pages. Who doesn't like that? It's a laid-back kind of video. A lot of me talking, a lot of me opening books. Everyone likes that. Thanks for clicking this. Thanks for clicking the link, the thumbnail, what have you. I really appreciate it, and let's get into it. The first book we have up is Soppy by Philippa Rice. This is the first graphic novel I discovered by myself. It's a very limited color palette and the style is very simple, yet she adds textures where it's like really important and where your eye needs to go, and I just really love this simplistic style, especially when during that time I was really focused on extremely high detail, realistic work and feeling like I'm falling short when it's not absolutely perfect. But this book really showed me that you can bring details out even when it's simple. This page is my favorite. I feel like she really captured like the feeling of being in a relationship and how silly it is, and how there's just times when things might be bad or you're just not feeling yourself, but how your partner really lifts you up. And I just really love this book. The next book we have is Piero by Edmond Badon. He's a French graphic novelist, and his work is extremely textural, very expressive, and the pen strokes are just amazing. And it looks like juvenile, it looks very innocent, not naivete, but I feel like that is like the point of this book, because the book is about two brothers and how their imaginations when they were little was like crazy to the point where it was like really all consumed by them, and then when they grow up, it's kind of lost, but one of them really is trying to keep their imagination alive, and it's just a very beautiful book about growing up. The next book is About to Leave by Fran Menses, or Fran Nerd on YouTube. She inspired me to start my YouTube channel. She was really the first art YouTuber I ever watched, and I knew I wanted to get her book because I really admired how she approached illustration and how she really told a whole story and made it funny and interesting. And I really want to start doing like some story elements into my art, so I felt like she really captured both a style and a story. This is her travel honeymoon book. Her style has changed a lot over the past couple of years, but she changed the cover but kept the inside the same, and I feel like that is really cool because then she still can incorporate her new style but keeping her old work. The next book we have is An Illustrated History of UFOs by Adam Alsuch Boardman. This book is like flat illustrations meets infographics meets color coordinated chapters meets full page, full spread illustrations. It's such a beautiful book, and there's so much information, and the way he integrates type and image is just so beautiful, and it's really inspiring to see this because I feel like flat illustration has been getting a lot of hate lately for being like soulless corporate art, but I think it's just a beautiful art form, and that's very simple, but it really lends itself to being a clear communication device. It's just something I've really wanted to get better at, and I feel like this book just really meets like the fantastical elements of UFOs with flat illustration and communication. For the next book, I have Purdy Volumes 1 and 2 by Kickley. Purdy is about a mother and daughter's relationship in the Old West, as Purdy is a known criminal and her daughter is trying to get away from that life, and they're kind of falling out but also meeting back together to find common ground. It's very crude and gory, and it's just a lot of fun. The type, like their speech bubbles are actually all hand done, and it keeps me interested because it's so expressive, and the way they talk in this book is just so fun. It's really written out how they would say in Old West. It's got a very gritty feeling, and that's kind of what you want for like an Old West story, I guess I would say. So I think the graphic novelist got that right. This book is called All the Buildings in London. So this guy, James Gulliver Hancock, he went throughout London and drew all of these historic buildings and made them his own style. They're very fun, and I feel like I got this when I was like 16, when I was first trying to get into illustration, and I felt like this really helped me show that it doesn't have to be exactly like in real life. You can really put your own spin on it, and that's what's really sets your work apart from a photograph or from other people's work, is how you personally put your own special touches on illustrations. And also it had a lot of hand rendered type, and at that point I didn't know what hand rendered type even meant. So just looking at that kind of stuff was just really inspiring. I've had this book for a long time. The next book is Crestfallen by Sarah Kippen. It's the art of Sarah Kippen. This is a art book that I bought for my girlfriend Elliot for Christmas. Yes, I got it signed by her, which is amazing. I really love her art. It's something that I've been inspired by even when I didn't even know her name for so long, because I just had it on Pinterest, and I finally decided to look into who this is because I had so much of her art pinned on my Pinterest. Her use of color and texture is just really amazing, and her compositions are always really cool. She does a lot of fan art, which is really cool because I feel like that's written off as unprofessional a lot, but I feel like she really puts her own spin on it and makes it really cool. Oh, I love this piece with the sexy vampires. Very cool. The use of red and really dark colors like black and blue just makes it pop so much. It's just amazing, her use of color. Yeah, I got it for Elliot as a gift, but I definitely look at it from time to time, and it was definitely a self-indulgent kind of gift. Also, just her representation with gay couples and her use of character design, I guess, of making them look really cool is just really inspiring. I love this book and how it's designed too. The back, beautiful. Very simple but elegant. This next book is kind of different. It's Music Box by publisher Abrams. This book is a collection of concert photography, just photography of musicians and fun photographers can get on tour, or just how weird they can get, I felt. And they're just beautiful, huge photos, color and black and white, of just really iconic figures. I love the detail shots in this book. They're just so beautiful. And just things that are representative of those artists, even if you can't see their face, you know who it is. And I just really love those kind of iconic photos. Pictures of guitars or shoes or like a piece of jewelry really represents who that artist is. I actually used this photo of Alice Cooper and his bandmates with this baby reference for a drawing I did a couple summers ago, and I really like how it turned out. And the bunnies, oh my god, I love them. This book is called Art Inc. by Lisa Kong Don. This book is very technical about how to start your art career and kind of like the steps and what you should have kept in mind when going into art, how to sell your work, how to price your work with clients and stuff like that. Very technical, definitely like manual-like with chapters, and just it's very organized, I would say. The illustrations, like the spot illustrations throughout, are really fun, and I love like the limited color palette that it has. A very fun read, and it definitely motivates me every time I read it. This next book is called Revival Type by Paul Shaw. It's a collection of different type and fonts and font families of fonts that are considered classics, and how going from wood block or letterpress workings to digital, and how they kept the nuances in these historic fonts. It's just really interesting to page through. It kind of talks about how transitioning from traditional to digital media, they had to kind of like sacrifice certain details. They could get certain details on the woodcut, like texture and fuzziness around the edges, and how that's kind of sacrificed in a digital age without manually doing it yourself. So this is definitely a good read for people who are interested in old type or vintage type, I would say. This book is called Hand Job by Michael Perry, and it's a catalog of type from different hand-rendered type artists, and it's just really fun and loose, and I feel like it has a very zine feel to it. It looks very handmade even though it's all printed. And it's just like gives a childlike wonder to type, which I feel like sometimes it really is missing that because of all the rigidity that it can have sometimes, especially associated with graphic design. It's very, there's not a lot of rules that you can break, but I feel like definitely in this book there's a lot of rules that are broken. It's just really interesting to page through, and when I feel like I don't have any more ideas and I'm kind of drained from having anything new to say, I can page through this and kind of see different techniques that they're using. These collection of artists are using different media and how they're using type in really fun and interesting ways. This book is called Vintage Graphic Design by Stephen Heller and Louise Philly. It's kind of a look at vintage graphic design, monograms, flourishes, type, and how they were used in conjunction to each other, and how influential they were to modern design, and how we still use a lot of elements that they used to use. Color, symbol, and type together, and how we can really look to the past to influence how we're designing still and how relevant these design principles still are. Just paging through it is just so beautiful to look at. I could seriously get lost in these pages. I just feel like it's really hard to capture vintage design when you're making it with contemporary media, like computer, digitally, vector. But I feel like if you're looking to this book and using the elements and the principles they have in this, I feel like you're gonna get really close to having something that truly does look vintage. This last book is called Becoming a Successful Illustrator by Barrick Brazel and Joe Davies. First of all, the cover is beautiful. I love the colors. I had it on display for a while at my last apartment. This book is a lot different from Art Inc., where this book, instead of talking about technical terms and everything like that, is kind of talking about the mindset that you have to have when you're an illustrator, and how self-doubt really plays a part in your career as an artist, and how to like not listen to those voices, and how you can really set yourself up for success when you put yourself in a successful mind state. And that's just something I struggle with sometimes, and how I kind of expect the worst sometimes. So reading this is really helpful when you just feel like you're failing at life, or if you're just struggling. Also, just remembering that you have worth, and this book definitely encourages those thoughts. I hope you liked that little video of me going through my most inspiring books. It was really fun to go through them again, and I think I might go back to some of them because I feel like they have even more to offer than I originally thought, which is really cool. Yeah, I hope you liked the video. I hope it was informative, and I hope you have some more books on your wish list. Support your local bookstores. Well, that's all I have for today. I'll be back with another studio vlog soon. Just kind of putting some stuff together. She's got some clients. Yeah, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Bye.